Gaza has endured over a year of mass civilian death, widespread destruction, and mass displacement. This human reality comes first. No astrology caused it, no transit explains a single life lost. What follows explores the climate of pressure surrounding a diplomatic opening, the pattern people moved through, not the reason they moved. In mid-August 2026, Jared Kushner, Donald Trump's son-in-law and Middle East envoy, arrived in Israel to meet Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He carried a US-backed Gaza peace plan. What made this visit unique was the stop before. Kushner held direct talks with Hamas, a channel the US almost never uses openly. Days earlier, a Hamas leader went to Cairo to prepare the ground. On the day Kushner landed, Israel released 35 Palestinian prisoners back into Gaza. The region was simultaneously negotiating and bleeding. Talks on the Strait of Hormuz continued amid an Iran conflict, and Israel had killed 11 people in Lebanon the day before. The peace plan was pushed into a space that had not stopped burning. The moment. This diplomatic channel focused on strategy and secrecy, not public fanfare. The event chart, cast for Jerusalem, shows Scorpio rising, a sign linked to hidden dealings. The driving force, Mars, the planet of action, is in Gemini, the sign of negotiation. This suggests the plan has military backing, but focuses on communication. The plan itself holds significant weight at the highest levels. The Sun at 17 degrees Leo, joined by Jupiter near the top of the chart, the midheaven, marks a leadership-level diplomatic moment. Jupiter, the planet of law and expansion, suggests a formal framework. However, Jupiter is combust, too close to the Sun. This means the framework's institutional weight is overshadowed by the individual delivering it. The plan struggles to be more than a photo opportunity. The public mood mirrors an exhausted cycle. The moon is in Cancer, a waning crescent at 10% illumination. This indicates a period of winding down, a dark stretch before new beginnings. It's not a time for fresh starts, but for completing what's already in motion. For families in Gaza, this moon reflects a tired, in-between moment. This diplomatic opening falls in the shadow of a major turning point. 2 days later, a total solar eclipse at 20 degrees Leo, very close to the Sun and Jupiter, will reroute energy, often by collapsing existing structures. An eclipse so close to the leadership sector indicates that the government's standing will be reshaped, whether it chooses to engage or not. The fixed stars add insight. The moon aligns with Sirius, the brightest star, signaling ambition and a drive to shine, but also intense heat. Mars aligns with Betelgeuse, a star associated with martial success. The South Node aligns with Regulus, a royal star. Its gift is leadership, but with a warning: pride or revenge can lead to a fall. If this opening is treated as a victory lap, not a negotiation, the stars suggest it won't last. The global mood, measured by the Barbault Cyclic Index, is more open to diplomacy. The index sits at 852.3, a high and dispersed reading, trending towards a peak in late November. This suggests a less tense global atmosphere, making it easier for a peace plan to gain traction. However, dispersal also means scattered attention, potentially weakening political will. Military matters are currently coasting. Mars is void of course in Gemini, meaning it won't make major new connections before changing signs on August 11th. This indicates new military initiatives are unlikely. Existing operations continue on momentum, but fresh offensives stall. For people dealing with regional instability, this suggests immediate pressure won't escalate, but nothing will be resolved either. It's a holding pattern. The underlying tension in the region has lost its protective cushion. The chart catches the tail end of a cradle, a supportive planetary configuration, which dissolved 3 days before Kushner's arrival. This cradle had softened a difficult opposition, providing ways to live with division. Its disappearance leaves the core tensions exposed. If I were to pick a tarot card for this moment, it would be the Two of Swords. It depicts a blindfolded figure balancing two crossed blades, suggesting a choice between two difficult options. This reflects the delicate and uncertain nature of this diplomatic opening. What it touches. The most significant astrological influence falls on Israel's founding horoscope, impacting its public. Transiting Pluto, the planet of profound transformation and power, directly opposes Israel's natal moon, which represents the people. This means the population is under immense, transformative pressure from an external force, forcing fundamental changes to the national mood. At the same time, the Israeli public is receptive to new ideas. Transiting Neptune, the planet of ideals and collective dreams, forms a flowing trine to Israel's moon. This suggests an openness to idealistic visions and peace narratives, which can land with less resistance. However, Neptune can also blur boundaries, making agreements seem clear, while potentially meaning different things. Neptune is also creating friction with Israel's natal Venus, which governs alliances and values. This square suggests Israel's alliances and diplomatic values are under ideological strain, with competing narratives clouding loyalty and friendship. The month leading up to this event set the stage for intense national focus. The new moon of July 14th saw the Sun, Moon, and Mercury aligning directly with the midheaven in Jerusalem's lunation chart. This indicates high national visibility and leadership in the spotlight. However, Saturn, the planet of structural limits and borders, was positioned opposite, representing foreign relations and adversaries. This suggests a month where every international move met structural pressure from both partners and opponents. Israel's collective vitality points to a nation driven by fire, full of momentum and will, but risking burnout. Water, representing emotions, is less present, meaning feelings are often postponed until they become overwhelming. For a nation at war for over a year, this describes a public fueled by adrenaline and fury, with grief and exhaustion suppressed. Israel's energetic design, as a projector, thrives on recognition and invitation. Projectors guide, not initiate without being asked. When they push uninvited, they face resistance. The US-backed plan, delivered by an envoy, formally extends an invitation, aligning with this design. The question remains, however, whether the invitation is genuine or merely performative. The relationship between Israel and Donald Trump reveals a complex dynamic. Israel's moon, representing its public, forms an easy trine with Trump's Lilith, the point of his shadow and rule-breaking tendencies. This suggests the Israeli public feels a deep resonance with Trump's outsider energy. Additionally, Israel's Sun, its national identity, forms a constructive sextile with Trump's Saturn, representing authority, indicating that Trump's authority can practically support Israel's identity. This strong connection, particularly the Moon-Lilith trine, can mean the public feels truly understood by Trump. Trump's own astrological influences at the time highlight personal pressure and unexpected moves. Transiting Saturn, the planet of limits, opposes his natal Chiron, his deepest wound. He navigates this peace plan while facing personal pain. At the same time, the transiting Sun forms a sextile with his natal Uranus, spotlighting change and the unexpected. The unprecedented channel to Hamas aligns perfectly with this Uranian signature, an unorthodox, surprising move. Trump's energetic design, a manifesting generator, is characterized as a quick builder, responsive, but also able to initiate. His internal guide is an emotional wave, meaning clarity comes with time, not instantly. Under pressure, he tends to act first and inform later, a pattern that helps him maintain speed. For a peace process demanding patience, this design seeks rapid movement, potentially skipping crucial communication with those affected. The combined astrological chart of Israel and Trump reveals their shared strength lies in initiating and completing cycles, providing a forward momentum neither possesses alone. However, their combined chart lacks a clear vision for groundbreaking ideas. They can drive a plan forward, but are less equipped to envision one that truly transcends current limitations. The United States itself is under significant structural pressure. Transiting Saturn opposes the US natal Saturn, a recurring 14-year cycle that forces a re-evaluation of fundamental institutional commitments. The US scrutinizes its own foundations even as it urges Israel to make new commitments. The relationship between Israel and the US reflects this strain. Israel's Jupiter supports the American public mood, but Israel's national wound, Chiron, forms an awkward quincunx with the US Mars, America's military drive. This friction means America's military posture and Israel's deepest pain don't easily align, creating tension in every condition Washington attaches to its backing. Two key charts were unavailable, the State of Palestine's founding chart and Jared Kushner's natal chart. This means the Palestinian perspective and Kushner's personal motivations cannot be directly read astrologically here, requiring inferences based on his role. How it rolls forward. The total solar eclipse on August 12th, just days after the diplomatic opening, will significantly reroute energy for months. Eclipses mark periods where the usual order is interrupted. This one falls in Leo, the sign governing the event chart's midheaven, the government and national standing. Whatever commitments are made now will be tested and reshaped by the eclipse's influence through the autumn. 2 weeks later, on August 28th, a partial lunar eclipse at 5 degrees Pisces will bring hidden information to light. Lunar eclipses illuminate what was previously obscured. In a peace process already blurred by Neptune's influence, this eclipse could reveal differing understandings of terms, or ground realities missed in negotiations. The most critical aspect for durability occurs on August 31st, when Jupiter trines Saturn. Jupiter brings expansion and law, while Saturn provides structure and commitment. This flowing alignment supports the creation of durable agreements, frameworks built on structural reality, not just aspiration. This same configuration was present during the War of Attrition in 1967. While not a prediction of war, it notes that this alignment can support serious, sustained conflict as readily as peace. The key is that whatever is agreed upon during this window has a stronger chance of holding structurally. September's lunar cycles in Jerusalem continue the diplomatic thread. The new moon on September 11th, with the sun and moon on the ascendant, signals a practical reset and a focus on the nation itself. The full moon on September 26 in Aries, with Venus, diplomacy, on the descendant, foreign relations, is a genuinely supportive signature for a diplomatic outcome. If the process gains traction, late September could see results. October complicates the picture, as Venus retrogrades back into Libra on October 25th. A retrograde doesn't halt a process, but mandates a review of terms and a reassessment of relationships. Agreements made in August may return to the negotiating table. For those seeking an end to conflict, this means a cruel rhythm of diplomatic timing versus their real-time suffering. For a settlement to hold, the Jupiter-Saturn trine at the end of August is key, supporting structurally sound frameworks. If an agreement is concrete, specific, and based on acknowledged interests rather than abstract aspirations, it has a chance. Fractures are likely due to Neptune's influence, where each side might interpret the agreement differently. Pluto's opposition to Israel's moon suggests the Israeli public will face transformative pressure that could turn against any perceived externally imposed deal. The void of course Sun and Mars in the event chart suggests that in the immediate term, little genuinely new will be initiated. The period will largely operate on existing momentum. Recent history and where this is heading. Dose frantic diplomatic stumble feels less like peacemaking and more like a patch job on a house being torn down by a cosmic wrecking ball. The recent chatter surrounding Gaza is simply one corner of a much larger, slow-moving phenomenon. Saturn and Neptune hooking up in Aries. This rare alignment happens every 36 years, acting like a cosmic bulldozer that dissolves rigid walls and replaces them with murky fog. It suggests that today's headlines, whether they involve wars, economies, or political scandals, are all symptoms of a massive, worldwide reorganization where old rules are discarded and the groundwork is brutally rebuilt. That structural reworking will define the immediate future, but the symbolism suggests the initial progress is fragile. While the Sun moves into Libra later this month, offering a moment for improved communication, the sky predicts trouble in late October. When Venus turns retrograde in the diplomatic sign of Libra, it often reverses gains or creates chaos in relationships. The numbers suggest the fragile photo op in Israel is likely to buckle under the weight of fresh misunderstandings, proving that news stories from opposite corners of the globe are often just faces on the same underlying cosmic weather. Summary. A diplomatic opening, supported by military backing, emerges during an eclipse and a more receptive global mood. It carries structural support for durability, but also illusion and transformative pressure that could lead to its dissolution. Watch for agreements to be interpreted differently by each party. Monitor the Israeli public's mood through September. Note August 31st as a window for maximum structural durability. Observe late September's full moon for potential diplomatic breakthroughs. Expect October's Venus retrograde to bring previously agreed terms back for review. Be wary of any leader framing this opening as a personal triumph. The sky doesn't dictate the outcome. It highlights a real window of opportunity, a real risk of illusion, and the significant effort required to distinguish between the two. A word from the channel. I read with the moon rather than the stars, because the chart can get caught up in technical details, while the moon just tells you how to navigate what's in front of you. If this unvarnished view helps you get through the week, please subscribe to help this fledgling channel grow, and leave a comment on what story we should cover next. I'll pass the mic to Sienna now, who is going to take this news to the table with the tarot cards.
Thank you, Ruby, for that incredibly detailed chart. Let's take this story to the cards and see what they add. First party, Israel, Page of Pentacles. Israel's card shows studious, cautious energy. Like the page intently studying his coin, the nation deeply focuses on tangible, immediate realities, security, and territory. This isn't about grand visions. It's a meticulous, ground-level assessment of what any proposed plan could actually deliver. This desire for practical solutions resonates with transformative pressure from Pluto opposing its public moon, a sign of profound upheaval. Second party, State of Palestine, Four of Pentacles, reversed. For the State of Palestine, this reversed card suggests a state of suspension where control is slipping. It points to immense obstacles and delays in achieving secure foundations, mirroring the event chart's waning moon. A tired, incomplete feeling before a new cycle can truly begin. Third party, Jared Kushner, The Tower. Kushner embodies the Tower, an unforeseen disruptive force. This isn't a gentle influence, it's a sudden event threatening to collapse existing structures of communication and doctrine. It perfectly mirrors his unprecedented direct talks with Hamas and that shocking combust Jupiter, a framework overshadowed by one individual potentially blowing up established protocols. First and second, Israel and State of Palestine, Eight of Swords, reversed. The reversed Eight of Swords between them indicates a potential, however fragile, for a departure from feeling trapped. It suggests the current disquiet could be navigated, offering a path away from stalemate. Yet, this reversal warns the opening is precarious, much like exposed tensions after the supportive cradle configuration dissolved. Second and third, State of Palestine and Jared Kushner, King of Pentacles. This connection is defined by practical, material mastery. Kushner, as the king, arrives as a businessman offering a concrete framework. His valor lies in his intelligence for negotiation. However, the card's lethargic tendency hints this practical approach may lack urgent vitality, potentially becoming bogged down in its own mechanics. First and third, Israel and Jared Kushner, Judgment. This is a moment of reckoning. The Judgment card signifies a powerful summons and a response that could lead to renewal and a significant change of position. It reflects the strong astrological connection between Israel's public and Trump's energy, suggesting a deep, resonant call to action. However, the outcome hinges on genuine transformation, not just a superficial photo op. The heart of the web, Queen of Cups. At the heart of this dynamic is the Queen of Cups, a loving intelligence and the gift of vision. She represents the deep, idealistic longing for peace and security underpinning these negotiations. This is the devoted hope for a resolution that serves the people. Yet, as she sees visions in a cup, it echoes Neptune's blurry influence, where ideals can be misinterpreted and desire can cloud reality. Where the web turns, Queen of Pentacles. This three-way dynamic points towards the Queen of Pentacles, an outcome focused on opulence, generosity, and ultimately security. She is a figure of great soul and practical magnificence, suggesting potential for a resolution offering tangible safety and liberty. Her contemplative nature implies this security is hard-won, requiring deep wisdom. This aligns with the supportive Jupiter-Saturn trine at the end of August, which can provide structural durability if the foundation is wisely built. A word from the channel. Because this is a young channel, still finding its footing, every like and subscription genuinely helps a small channel like this grow. Drop a comment letting me know how I can do better or what you want to see next. Thank you for watching this story with me.